It's fucking hot, bros.
Dude, you're telling me, man. It's been like 80 degrees in my room the past week.
Yeah. The worst part is my house is like super well insulated, which is not a bad thing, like say in the winter time.
Yeah.
But now when there's a heat wave and it's 100 degrees outside, bro, I'm fucking sweating my ass off right now.
Yeah. Anyways, hey party people, welcome back. This is gonna be episode. Is this 9?
9A, yeah.
9A. Oh my gosh, we're about to be in the 10s. That's crazy. So this is gonna be episode 9A. Really quickly, if you have social media and you want to follow us, we are on. I mean, if you've been listening to every episode, you know this. You've heard this every time. Probably shut up. But we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Go follow us there. If you prefer to listen to us on YouTube rather than like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then you can follow us on, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you like what you hear, leaving us a thumbs up or a review on whatever platform you're listening to us on would go a long way to help get our name out there and show that what we create is something that people enjoy. Additionally, if you would like to like hang out with us, I mean, not like a voice chat or anything like that. We're all pretty busy outside of the podcast and our jobs and stuff like that. But if you want to just hang out, message us, talk to other people that are also fans of the podcast and part of our community, then go join our Discord. You should be able to find a link to that in the Linktree link in the description of this podcast. I think that is just about it. So we're going to get into the recap, and then after the recap, we are going to get into a brief kind of where we left off, because the recap doesn't always make that entirely clear, and especially during the Darkreign recaps, which I've been trying to make towards like the lore side of things, like a little change up for Darkreign. So let's get into it. Gracos, 301st year of Darkreign. Those many, many years ago, the continent was a different place. The eastern middle lands of Ostoya had not yet been colonized. That didn't happen until separatists fled over the mountains to avoid the warring tribes and constant struggles of the Burok. So they packed their things and ventured into a land ruled by feral animals and quiet creatures. They made villages, then towns, and finally those towns that lived long enough prospered into cities. The most notable became Nov Ostoya, the capital city of the eastern Middle Lands. The original inhabitants retreated into the uncharted territories where travelers dared not travel. Had those breeds gone extinct by now? Or had they evolved? Grown accustomed to the might of firearms and magic, learned to overcome the sword and shield, discovered means of camouflage and means of hunting. Likely those that had been revealed the answer not often survived. And so we resume with you guys started out last session in the kind of like underground hideout of Isaac Olsen and Troy Olsen, where you tested out the dispel magic on one of the feral faithful, and they burst into radiant fire and turned into ash and bone and shreds of charred feathers. And it was then decided that the child would be staying behind with Troy at the hideout, while the rest of you, including Isaac, went to the Cathedral of Malakir to wipe out the feral faithful, or as many of them as you could, so they would no longer hunt you, for one reason, and also because you sought something that was there, something that was in the back of the cathedral, hidden behind a painting just behind the main altar. While you were there, you ended up fighting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 or 8 feral faithful. And when the fight got pretty close to seemingly ending, you guys being pretty battered, them also being pretty battered, Rylon cast Suggest or Command. Which one was it? Do you remember?
For which situation? The
Suggestion.
Suggestion on
when
the
you
two.
Yeah, you ordered 2 of them to drop their weapons, and when they came to their senses, they were like, hold on, wait, we're here and we're defenseless, let's just get out of here. Like, because it's in their stat block that they're kind of cowards and selfish. And so it just seemed fitting that they would try and retreat from the fight. And the other two that were down there by Eamon and Ilfharyn at the ground level, they fought to the death and died. So 2 of the 8 Feral Faithful got away.
It was command, sorry, my fault.
Oh, it was command, okay. With the fight now over, you guys went about sort of licking your wounds and I mean, Eamon was okay, I believe. I don't think Eamon got hit once, but a couple of you others were a little bit beat up. Ilfharyn and Isaac as well was a little bit beat up, and so was Rylon, actually pretty close to going down. I think it was 1 HP, right? 1 HP difference.
Yep, I had 1 HP.
And during the fight, at some point, Rylon had cast Firebolt on the Feral Faithful that was casting a sort of ritual of some sort at the altar, and he missed the Feral Faithful and hit the painting behind him. The painting caught fire, and by the end of the fight, it had burned away, like embers and tatters of it flittering away in the gentle breeze. And behind it was a tall, almost mirror slab of very dark, blackish steel. And Eamon walked up to it and placed his hand on it, and that was where we ended the session. So, Eamon.
Yes.
As you reach your hand out to touch the mirror, you can see your reflection. The mirror ripples like a surface of oil that you can't seem to reach into. It just kind of, it feels like just a liquid.
So like a Jello feeling, you know, like I poke it and it just ripples out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I turn around. Ilfharyn. Can you come take a look at this?
I walk the, what is it, like 120 feet towards him.
Yeah, something like that. It was a pretty long room.
Yeah, until I get to the mirror.
Okay. And as you approach to the mirror, and I assume that Eamon, you look back at it about the time that he gets there, or what?
Yeah, I'm kind of glancing at it. I take a step back. I take a nice slide back.
Okay. The 2 of you see, as Eamon goes to pull his hand away from it, an arm sort of come over to the mirror. It's kind of strange. It's a mirror, like you can see a reflection in it, but it's also like it's a pane of glass that you can just see through to somewhere that just doesn't make sense, because there's a flat wall of stone or carved stone behind this mirror. But you can see into the mirror an arm reach out from the darkness, and the arm is made of glass with fingernails carved of gems like sapphires and emeralds and rubies, and it reaches its hand out as if to like mimic where where Eamon's hand was pressed up against the mirror, and it just holds its hand there for a moment without anything else, and all you can see is like the arm all the way up to the bicep. You can't see past that, and it sort of like fades into darkness.
It retracts back.
The arm? No.
Mm-hmm. Or is it just staying there on the same spot?
Just stays there in the same spot, like just touching where you were touching.
Okay, that is new. Thoughts?
I can only imagine that we have that head, right?
I do not, but I believe that
somewhere
Rylon does.
And this was what was given to us behind the painting. So, did you try to, I don't know, put your hand in it?
You think I should put mine own hand inside?
I'm just asking if you tried.
I poked it, and it seems to be poking back in the same place.
The hand came out of where you poked it.
Well, it's not out yet, but it is parallel to where I had previously touched.
Do you think that if you exerted some force, that you might be able to put something in? I mean, we could just hold the head there. I'm sure whatever that hand is would come out, snatch it up, and take it to wherever. I'll be honest, I don't really know what this thing is. It
It's got
doesn't.
very nice gems.
It does, but gems can be used for multiple things. You know, it's something sparkly, something nice, but it's not always used for something nice.
Right. I am hesitant to mess with this, but first, he kind of starts leaning towards the thing again, and I'm gonna slowly start reaching my hand out with like one finger extended.
Okay.
I'm gonna poke it where it was before. Yeah.
Where your hand was before?
Yeah.
Okay, because the glass hand is still on the other side, like just touching there. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
also
a
touching.
very smooth sort of arm, like a normal human arm.
Seems to have skin.
Very slender. No, I mean, like glass skin. It's
Right.
like, just the arm itself is completely made of glass.
And it's like, I'm sorry, is it opaque?
But it's like a skin sort of texture.
Yeah, so what I meant is it opaque? Like, can you see through it? Or is it like clear glass? Or is it like...
You can see through it, but you can also still see like its form. You know how
Gotcha.
like if you were to look at any sort of glass, like a drinking vessel, you can still see its form even though it's see-through.
Yep, understood.
Yeah. Or like figures carved of ice, that kind of thing. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you go to put your hand there. You said just a
Yeah.
finger.
Is his whole hand there?
Yeah.
I would mirror its action hand. Prepared to pull my hand away if the thing seems to like lunge out at me, as I'm already preemptively thinking this thing might grab my hand.
As you place your hand against the mirror, you hear kind of like a series of voices all sort of morphed into one voice, like different pitches and tones that are all just overlapping each other. Some of them scratchy, gravelly, some of them feminine, others more masculine. And they all seem to ask, "What do you seek?"
He says this out loud. I seek a way to destroy a particularly nasty beastie.
What?
What? I don't know the name of this thing. It's not one of the Pharaoh Faithful, right?
I already know that.
What? Oh, I'm talking to it. He nods towards the mirror as his hand's still extended onto it.
Can I hear what it's saying?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
I'd say it's speaking at like a conversational.
Mhm. I wasn't sure if it was like
volume.
in his head or something like that.
No. Just out of curiosity, not to pull away from this too much, but what's Rylon doing at this time?
Rylon is just kind of checking his wounds and licking up, seeing what's going on, and
Barely standing.
I mean, I healed myself at the right before the end of the fight, so I'm not too bad. I'm sitting about like half HP. I'm
Gotcha.
a little bloodied, but
Yeah.
and I would just kind of make sure that Stazriel and Isaac are okay. And once we've kind of come together and realized that everything's all right, I would request to Isaac to kind of watch the front gate, the door. And I would usher Stazriel to accompany me towards where the rest of the crew is.
Isaac, he looks a little bit wounded himself, so does Stazriel, and but it's definitely not Isaac's first rodeo, and he kind of like nods along. He looks at the ground where the catch pole is, and he stands up. He's been like sitting down cross-legged, and makes his way over, bending down a little bit to pick up the catch pole, while also pulling out his primary weapon, and making his way over with both of those tools to the towards the front door, where he stands off to the side, just inside the door against the wall. So like not in the doorway, not like against the door, just like maybe 10 feet away from the doors, leaning up against the wall by them. And he props his catch pole up and kind of uses it like a staff to lean against while he's still kind of recovering his just like his senses and breath. And Stazriel was standing not far from you, like stretching his wings when you kind of beckon him over, and he tucks them, and and just follows along behind you over towards the mirror.
All right. As we approach, I kind of look over my shoulder at Stasville and just kind of give him an affirming nod, like a well done, and keep it pushing until I get towards the rest of the boys who are kind of just like talking to the air right now.
Mm-hmm. And Stasville, while you were walking, he catches your sort of affirming nod and but only offers a glance and then goes back to like looking around at the architecture inside of this cathedral and all of the stained glass windows and kind of the murals that they depict. And I'll announce kind of shortly when you arrive over at the mirror with him. Meanwhile, so undead, you said pretty roughly, how do I get rid of this thing? Like,
I basically just kind of said that we have a strange beastie we need to get rid of, something like that.
The hand gently pulls away from the mirror and kind of like rolls downwards before turning over, revealing the palm of the hand upward with outstretched fingers as if like saying, give it here, kind of, in a gesture. And the fingertips just press right up against the edge of the mirror where like if you were to put your hands on the other side, it would be separated by just this thin veil between your plane and wherever this thing is.
Yeah, I pull my hand away and I turn around looking for Rylon, who has that.
This is what we've been kind of told to do, I suppose.
It's not my area of expertise, so...
It's not... I mean, I could try a few things, but I don't know exactly how much information I'm going to be able to get. But since there's no stairway here, nothing to enter into, it's just this. This is what was behind the painting. So this has to be the answer.
That's when Rylon and Stasriel arrive at the painting. Rylon, you see that they're like talking back and forth about something.
Well, did you find what we came for?
Yes, friend, I believe so. Could you hand me that head?
Hand you the head? For what?
I think you guys left it back at the hideout, right?
Yeah, I don't have it with me. That shit's huge as fuck.
Is this strange arm in this mirror plane wants it? He points to the arm that's like touching the glass.
I kind of like lean over to the side to look past like Mike, so he's not in my field of view, and I just see the hand on the glass. I'm like, Stasriel, what is that? Did Zabriel tell you anything about this?
Zabriel told me not very much. It was very vague. I'm not quite sure what this is. And he kind of like gives the mirror like a once over, like top to bottom, and all you can see like past this sort of mirror surface is it is just darkness. It's like it's light for the first like foot or so to where the arm like reaches the bicep, or like foot and a half, I guess. And then it's just like it slowly fades into like just darkness, and that's really all you can see.
Do I know anything about this? Can I make some sort of religion or history?
I don't think that you probably would. However, I think it's possible that Ilfharyn might, if Nezzy wants to try and figure something out.
It's the doorway to Olmir's gate. You're home.
See, I did kind of have a hunch of something. I'll let the RP continue until I do anything.
Okay.
Alright, well, I don't have the head with me. It's back at the cave, so we'd have to go.
Our friend here is talking, if you'd like to ask it something.
Okay, well, what did you ask?
I asked... It said, what do I want? And I said, we need to kill something. And that's it. I don't really do those whole discussions with powerful beings things.
Left it clearly ambiguous.
Yes.
But, so I walk up to the mirror. And do I like kind of look back to Eamon and how did you start this? Did you talk to it? Or?
I poked it, and then
oh.
Zenith just talked.
I walk up and I just poke the mirror.
You see that it kind of ripples like Eamon, or I mean Undead had described, kind of like Jello. Like you poke it once, but you can't like push into it. It's clearly a solid surface, but it has just this weird water sort of consistency to it. And the hand is still there in front of where you poke, with glass arm, very slender, smooth, and fingernails made of gems. The hand faces upwards, as if beckoning for you to hand over what you're talking about, or what Eamon was talking about.
I just kind of stand there in silence for like 10 seconds. So now what?
Well, I ask it a question. It speaks somehow. I don't know.
Mira, give me the ingredients necessary to send the lynch stag back to whence it came.
Ah, Christ.
Why are you being so melodramatic?
It's kind of my thing.
Ah, okay.
And it responds in the same sort of tone that I described before, where it's just like a cacophony, like a chorus of different voices that just don't clash very well, crammed into a single layer, a single voice that asks back, "What do you seek?"
I just kind of like fumble my word. The necessary incantations, the ingredients, whatever necessary. We have to destroy the head of a lynch stag.
It pauses a moment before repeating, "Tell me what you seek."
We'll tell him power. That always goes well, is telling him
not doing that.
Power.
And you hear like a series of kind of echoing voices that repeat after each other and fade away. Seek, seek, seek.
Ugh.
Rylon kind of itches at his beard a bit. Well, is this the answer that you got?
No, it said to hand it to him, but, it is now asking what you seek, so perhaps being more direct or less direct, I don't exactly know.
Alright, I'm gonna...
If I may, I think that it wants you to tell it what you seek.
Oh, yes, thank you,
Thanks,
Stazriel.
Stazriel.
for
Oh my
that
god, Stazriel!
in-depth description.
I think it's in... Okay. I think that it's in the wording. And he kind of like drifts his eyes from Rylon slowly back to the mirror. And you just hear like, seek, seek, seek.
I seek the power to destroy a lynch stag.
And you see the glass hand, the arm, retreat back into the darkness slowly, like very slowly, maybe like half a foot per second. So it takes like 4 seconds for it to like drag back into the darkness.
Is this some sort of fucking riddle or something?
I don't know.
I've never been much one for riddles.
I've never had much patience for riddles.
No.
I just start knocking on the glass. Hello?
The arm comes back out from the darkness, holding a vial. It's maybe about 1.5 inches wide and about 6 inches tall, and it has a little cork stopper at the top that is just like dark, sickly looking brown. And inside of this vial is a silvery sort of bone-colored powder, and it extends it out, holding it by like the hand is holding onto it with its thumb, index finger, and middle finger by the top, sort of like craning it, and extends it out towards the mirror, and you see the vial start to stick through the mirror.
Ew. I guess I slowly and hesitantly reach over and grab the vial and try to...
It holds onto it tightly with the thumb, index finger, and middle finger. And you see the other arm come out from
Ew.
the darkness, palm upwards. What will I get in return? Give me something. Something.
Oh, don't worry, I got this one, Rylon. And he reaches into his bag, he pulls out a piton, and he walks over and places it in the thing's hand.
It takes the piton. Like, as you extend it into the mirror sort of ripples with that watery texture again. And then the hand gently clasps onto the piton and releases its grasp on the vial, pulling the piton into the mirror.
My God. Amon, you're a genius.
It's a good trade, no? Now I'm down to 5.
Well, I'm just now holding the vial.
I can't believe that worked.
I can't either. I just kind of slow.
What do you seek?
Oh, I just walk away.
Your name? First off?
I have no name. I don't exist.
You seem very existing to me, somewhere, if not here.
I exist everywhere and nowhere.
Oh.
What do you seek? Seek.
Huh. Something tells me that these fine people in this church did not have a mirror just sitting here that would produce them anything they want for nearly nothing. This all seems suspicious. He's like looking at Ilfharyn.
I have a kind of a hunch about this. I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong. I'll be right back.
Yes, please figure it out quick before I start asking it for things, because
Okay.
it's tempting.
Ilfharyn will just disappear from existence.
You blink.
Like into the ether?
Yep,
Or,
into the ethereal plane with fade away.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
yeah, go ahead.
in the ethereal plane, it's, you know, have you seen the Hobbit movies?
Mhm.
Yes.
You know, in the Desolation of Smog, when he puts on the ring, and I mean, I guess whenever he puts on the ring, and like everything around him is a mirror of what it's like outside of the ring, but it has sort of like echoing images of itself, and everything is sort of swirling and distorted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I kind of imagine that that's what the ethereal plane looks like, but sort of like with a sickly green tint to it, and all of the light that could possibly exist is just like dark. And so you can only see maybe like 20, 30 feet in front of yourself. And the lights that you see are like green instead of orange, like flames.
And looking into the mirror, does it look any different?
Looking into the mirror, you don't seem to see the glass figure, and you don't seem to see like anyone there, like Rylon or Eamon in front of it, or Stazriel as well. And it's kind of like you're just in this empty cathedral now, or at least it has an overbearing feeling of being empty. But no, as you look at the mirror, it's just looks like a normal mirror. Like not even dark steel this time, just sort of a normal mirror.
I want to touch it. Lay my hand against it.
Okay. As you approach it and you lay your hand on it, the mirror sort of shimmers, as if turning from a mirror into a glass window pane. And on the other side of it, you see this glassy figure, and you can actually see them. They are like a full body of glass, but past the bicep, where you could see before, it goes from that smooth sort of skin texture or appearance to like up the shoulder and all across the rest of its body and its face. The glass is like jagged, and it's like broken glass that was all just kind of like hastily glued back together rather than pieced together how it should be. And so it's all distorted and broken and jagged and pointy, and the face is just like just a mess where like you can't tell where the eye should have been or where it is now, and the lips and the nose, and just one big hodgepodge, like somebody had dropped this figure. They shattered, all except for the arm, and then they just sort of slapped them back together in whatever order.
It's like a Picasso painting.
Yeah.
See, this only lasts for a minute, so that's not long. But I will reappear where I was. But this is a glass pane. You know, I'm laying my hand against it. It's a solid thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it feels solid.
Do I get the impression this thing can see me? Is it even looking?
It looks kind of like it's looking past you.
Hmm.
But then again, you also can't really see where its eyes are.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll just reappear.
Okay. And you reappear back there. So like he blips out of existence. There's a moment that goes by and then he blips back into existence, and there you are with Rylon and Eamon and Sazriel standing in front of this black steel sort of jello-y textured or jello-y consistency mirror that's just like part of this wall. And the voice asks again to Eamon, "What do you seek? Tell me what you seek."
He kind of glanced back towards Ilfharyn.
This is an odd being indeed.
So you saw it. And it is not a god?
It's hard even to describe. I don't know what it is. It's like it's like if you had a vase and you dropped it and you glued it back together, the pieces missing, and you didn't quite remember what it looked like. It's almost like that, humanoid.
I really like that, actually, that description.
And have you ever heard of such a thing?
A being made of glass? No, I mean, I've heard of where it is, obviously. Everywhere and nowhere.
Yes, it was quite descriptive, it said. He kind of looks back towards the glass.
Its hand raises up and it's like drumming its fingernails along its side of the mirror. Like little sapphire, emerald, ruby, amethyst, diamond. Just drumming its fingernails across.
What is the cost for your trades?
Tell
For
me
what
what you seek.
I
can give you what you want. Tell me what you seek.
In exchange for?
I don't think it's going to answer questions.
Yes, but how do we know the thing he gave Rylon is going to work and not do something very bad?
We don't. Unless, we trust Sazriel.
More like trust Zabriel.
I'm not sure. Realistically, this is our only shot. And this thing, or whatever it is, I mean, I don't know how long it's been here. For it, far longer than time here, but I don't know what to make of this. It could have been here forever, really. It could have been created, or came from something or nothing, or I don't know. It could be good, bad, trustworthy, and I have no idea.
I love that.
Well, we have something, and that's better than nothing, right? So
I agree.
We should leave, unless of course you greedy bastards seek anything else.
Seek.
If I knew what it was, I would feel much better about it, but...
It just took a rather, likely unequal trade from you. Maybe it doesn't care what it gets.
No offense, Eamon. You wish to seek the obelisk and know exactly what it's capable of, so what's the difference?
Well, I'm quite terrified if it would bring me there by itself and by myself. He looks back at you. Believe me, Rylon, that thought crossed my mind as well.
Sazriel shrugs and looks at Rylon, shrugs again. Actually, Rylon has a pretty good point. You seek this strange obelisk underneath the surface of Nov Ostoya, and yet you're afraid of a trade that seems in your favor?
Just ask.
Um,
Give it another pittance.
I seek the location of the what's the name of it? Just to clarify, is it star metal? What was it?
Shadow Steel.
Shadow Steel. I seek the location of a large obelisk made of shadow steel beneath Nov Ostoya.
The hand was drumming along the wind or the mirror, and then its nails sort of rest up against the mirror. All of a sudden, like they stop drumming, and then just start to like drag downward, and the hand flips over, revealing palm upwards, as if ready to receive something.
Did it just point down and then flip its hand up?
No, it just like dragged its hand.
Got
down.
it. Okay.
Wait for that deal first.
I'm gonna give it a good deal. I've had this sitting around in my inventory forever. I have an amethyst in here, just a piece of the jewel. It seems to like jewels. I'm gonna place the amethyst into its hand.
Hey, my deal's been made. That's the amethyst I gave you.
Oh, there you go.
As you like pinch onto the amethyst, because it's pretty small, it's like the size of a grape, and your hand can't go into the mirror, only the material can.
Mm-hmm.
And so you like pinch and extend this, and the hand on the other side slowly like brings up its index finger and thumb and gently pinches the amethyst between its two nails before pulling it back into the darkness. And simultaneously, a hand comes forward, revealing a small sort of marble about the size of the amethyst, and the marble is very it's like onyx. It's a very dark material, but it's not shadow steel. You can tell at a glance that it doesn't look the same as anything you've ever seen of shadow steel. And so it extends that little spherical marble like halfway through the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, I already made the deal. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna reach out and carefully take it without touching anything else.
Okay. And then the hand that just gave you the marble stays there while the other one retreats back into the darkness with the amethyst. And now the hand turns to Ilfharyn. What do you seek? Tell me what you seek. I can give you what you seek.
I'm not sure how to word this. Let's try it with a hypothetical. I just want to see how it reacts. This thing is interesting, okay?
I take another step away from this thing on the mirror, kind of examining this thing.
This is awesome. I love this.
I seek you, not nowhere, not everywhere, but here.
Oh, he looks up. I don't like that.
The hand sort of twitches a little bit, like its hand was palm upward and its fingers sort of curl inward a little bit and twitch, and the wrist sort of shakes once or twice, like in quick judders, before sort of retreating back halfway into the darkness and pausing there. And the other hand reaches out to like take an offering. It has its fingernails pressed up against the mirror, sort of in a grabbing motion rather than like a put it in my hand sort of motion.
In a grabbing motion?
Yeah, as if it's trying to like grab onto the surface of the mirror.
Take its hand, Nezzy.
I take 3 more steps back.
What do you think?
Well, what did you expect to happen once you grabbed, you asked the question? I think it wants you.
I wasn't entirely sure.
Well, it wants an offering first, I would assume.
I don't think it wants an offering.
I think you should take its hand.
Really? You think it should take the thing's hand that is going to drag him into the mirror?
Look, this thing has answers, and it's from a place familiar with me. It knows about it. And there are not many who know about it. So, look, if I take its hand and I disappear into this thing and, I never come out, it's been fun.
Ha. Well,
Is there anything that you want to give us, just in case? You'll do, don't you? Won't you hand it over?
Wow, always thinking practically, Rylon.
Well, I mean, if he's going to disappear into the mirror forever, at least he's not going to need any of that platinum over there.
I'm sure I'll travel light. It's a good point. I'll drop my let my backpack off from my back and kind of place it on the ground behind me.
Wait, before you go, Ilfharyn
Mm-hmm.
kind of like looks to you as if he has something important to say, and then he brings up the onyx pearl. Can you look at this for me before you go?
What?
Well, I don't know. What is this? You're always good with this sort of thing. And if you happen to disappear forever, I'd like to know what this is.
Look, to find out for sure, it would take me more time than I think this thing is going to be willing to wait.
He rolls his eyes at you.
What did you say this was? A pearl? An onyx?
It's like
pearl?
an onyx, like a.
Yeah, it's like it was what it gave you. Yeah. I don't know if I could roll a check for this. Then sure, I'll roll a check.
Yeah, I'd say go ahead and roll an Arcana.
All right.
15?
15.
I think you've probably seen these before in your studies. They're sort of like clairvoyance marbles. They pretty much just the person who says the command word for it. It like automatically sort of knows what size they are, I guess was the best way to put it, or like their physical dimensions, and it'll roll around in front of them, kind of like guiding them to the most direct open route that they can fit through to whatever they're trying to find.
What is it you asked this thing for again? The location, right?
Yes, it's the location of the obelisk.
Well, you'll speak a word, and you'll follow that little thing.
And it will what?
Take you there.
Go and float in the direction of.
It'll just roll.
Oh.
It knows where things are, and it will take you. I don't know the command word, though.
Well, it's a step in the right direction. He says, like tossing it up and down in his hand. Okay, have fun on your Death Wish adventure, Ilfharyn, and best of luck to you, my friend.
Who knows? I could be back in just a moment, but
could be.
You'll be alright, Ilfharyn. I'm sure you'll be fine.
It would be. I have to find out.
I slap Ilfharyn in the back and give him a nice little like a very heavy slap in the back, as give him guidance. I'm sure Solima will have you in her. Don't worry.
Ilfharyn like coughs when he's hit in the back. It's a little bit too hard for him. Okay, well, see you whenever.
One more thing, my friend. Last thing, promise.
I pause as my hand is like about to grab this thing. Like,
I'm about to take a nice rest, but first I would like to do something real quick, if you don't mind. And he casts. I'm gonna cast 2 spells real quick in succession here, real quick. First of all, it's gonna be Detect Good and Evil. I just want to see if it checks any of my normal boxes. I close my eyes and I concentrate here for a second. And is this thing any of these things? Celestial, Fey, Fiend, Undead, Elemental?
No, it's not.
No problem. And do I detect any weird ones in a radius that shouldn't exist?
You see me in stats real quick.
No, I know you guys, alright? And I'm well aware of what we are, alright? I'm just making sure there's not a feral faithful sneaking up the rafter or something on us.
No.
30 feet. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to cast, and this is going to reveal my disgusting gross appearance because I'm so pretty, protection from evil and good on you.
Oh,
this includes aberrations, just in case it's one of those now. But, Yeah, this will give you some benefits for the next 10 minutes here, so I'm concentrating on it. So get to it, buddy. He pats you on the shoulder and pushes you towards the mirror.
Yes, stay pretty.
As
Yeah, like
they
14
say in my
eyes would stare at
country,
you.
as they say in my country, Ilfharyn, dos vidania.
Alright, I'll grab the hand.
The eyes would squint at fucking Rylon.
You grab the hand, and the hand grabs you too. Like it's like a simultaneous sort of motion where you both equally exchange, and stepping out from the darkness, you see this sort of vase shattered, poorly put together figure that you described earlier and that you saw in the ethereal plane. Meanwhile, while it's stepping forward, it's kind of like actively trying to pull you into where it is.
I will allow it to.
Okay, and then so if you would allow it to, it sort of pulls you in close. You're like face to face with it, and it pushes through the mirror, pulling you into the mirror, and sort of like exchanges places with you. And now all of a sudden, Rylon and Eamon and Stazriel see this glass figure with only one good-looking arm, or I guess both arms, stepping out into where you guys are and just looking and staring back at the mirror. You can't tell where its eyes are, its mouth, or anything like that. Just that it's made of glass.
Wait, it's just standing here now?
It's standing there. Yeah.
I just slap my hands against my forehead.
He just swapped places with it.
What you see, Ilfharyn, is you see kind of like a large open space, kind of like a big pocket dimension, that is maybe 30 feet deep and then like 30 feet wide, with the mirror being the center point, and about 30 feet tall. So kind of cubic. And against the back wall, like you can see it very clearly now, everything here. Against the back wall is just this massive pile of random assorted shit. And you see the piton that was exchanged, and the amethyst kind of like disintegrating at the very edges of it, as if the atoms that created are separating, and you can see them turning into just atoms that are ripe and ready to be rearranged into whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they sort of spread out slowly from it and fill the air.
Do I see anything looking out of the mirror?
Looking, oh yeah, you see Rylon and Eamon in this glassy figure, like pretty much as clear as it was when you were on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Amon looks terrified.
I'm assuming they would be able to hear me in here.
I don't know.
Okay. I will stick my own hand through the mirror, like what this thing was doing with its glossy hand.
Like up to the mirror?
Yeah, like attempting to go through it like it does.
You are unable to.
That was the last time we saw Ilfharyn.
Like you can put your hand against it, but you can't push through it.
Do we see his hand?
Yeah, you see his hand. You see like 1.5 feet into the darkness, for everyone that's outside of the mirror.
My past the fucking
my hand
glass.
turns into like a thumbs up.
I brush past the glass, man, making sure not to put it on the ground. But oh, do I want to? As I go to the mirror and I just kind of put my hand on it, trying to like touch Ilfharyn's. Ilfharyn,
Hello?
You guys hear each other.
is everything all right in there?
Yes, it's very interesting.
Should you be so close to that thing, Rylon?
I look at the glass, man.
The glass man is ignoring you. You can't see where they're looking, and they're just like facing towards the mirror, sort of like hunched posture.
Is it
Just
moving
like-
at all? Like,
No, it gets like pushed out of the side and like almost loses its balance, and then like goes to correct itself and stands back up like straight, and then like goes back into its slumped posture.
Yo, as you guys as a kid, have you ever tabletopped anybody? Like, where like one guy like goes behind somebody. And
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
guy, I want to do that. I was so bad to the class.
shattered.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen the YouTube videos of those like robots, like the robot people and robot dogs that like people try and push them over and they like
Yes,
almost lose
yeah.
balance and they stand back up straight?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
I just kind of poke at this glass man. Well, I guess whatever Ilfharyn's doing, I'm just gonna continue to poke at this glass man.
The glass man, he would call out from like 5 feet away, or 10 feet away rather.
The figure has to it can't turn its neck around or its head. It has to actually turn its whole body around to face you.
Ew. It's so gross.
Now it appears you are in our realm of existence. What is your plan now?
I have always been here.
Right.
I don't like it here. I seek to go home.
Oh, back in there?
I seek to go home.
What are you?
Turns its whole body back to face the mirror and steps up really close to it, forehead almost pressed into it. I seek to go home.
Is this thing scared of us?
Oh, maybe.
And Ilfharyn, he kind of peek his head in, from the side. Anything useful in there?
For it, maybe, yes. I mean, not maybe, definitely. This being can, what was the question you asked? Is it a god or something, right?
Yes.
What would you define a god as?
An ass.
Okay, that's not exactly what I was looking for.
What?
This being can essentially weave reality or non-reality, I'm not sure, into whatever it wants in here. It has complete dominion over this place. That little pin that you gave it, right?
Yes.
And the gem. It can take those apart and make them into anything. It can turn that pin into 10 gems, 100.
And it's just giving it to us for free.
I don't exactly know the why, but it's not free. As long as you give something to it. But put it this way, the value of something is what you assign to it. And this thing can assign a high value to just about anything.
Then why weren't the people who owned this church just super powerful and wealthy and invulnerable? This does not make sense. And he glances at the glass thing again.
I don't have the answers. I don't have the why.
It seems to want to go home. Use that to any advantage you see fit. Being trapped in there and all.
Oh, I don't think I'm trapped.
No?
No, I've gotten out of a space like this before. I'll be okay. Or maybe it'll just trade places again. I'm not sure.
If you see anything useful, grab it.
Yeah, take a look around in there.
Define useful.
I don't know, look around.
My hand, you were only seeing my hand, and you weren't seeing me. It was just kind of moving around as I was talking, and then it fades back into the darkness, and I'll turn back around and I'll look at this pile of just of shit.
The pile is a mound tall enough to walk on, 20 feet tall, and comes out about 15 or 20 feet from the wall itself, and goes all the way to the sides of the cubic room. I don't know, is there anything specific that you're looking for would be a better question than me just listing everything off.
I don't know. For me, yeah, I don't know. Okay, you'll hear my voice again. Is there anything you're looking for?
If you see any diamonds in there, that'd be great.
Well,
Diamonds, okay.
is it okay with you taking these things?
Well, it's out there. What's it going to do?
Kill us?
It's
Oh, please.
glass.
Is it? Actually?
I
It's
don't
clearly
know,
quite
actually.
magical. Mister, do you mind if he borrows a few things for us?
It has to turn its whole body to face you again.
He gulps. Then we can just get you back in there and back home, warm and snug as a bug.
I seek
In
to
the
go
rug.
home.
Okay, well, Ilfharyn just seeks a few things that might help us survive in our realm, you know? Fair?
I seek to go home.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out in a moment. Ilfharyn. He kind of like makes hand signals at you through the glass. Go.
Alright, I guess I'll try and look for anything, basically diamonds, just small twinkly things.
Okay, make for me a perception. Like I said, for you in that room, it's like a well-lit room. It looks like.
Mm-hmm. I'm not great at perception though. Yeah.
Oh, and that one. Sorry, you don't see any diamonds.
I think everything's kind of it's disintegrating in here.
What?
Yeah, that's what it does.
Well,
It'd be like picking a needle out of a haystack because it's just this massive mound of shit, and you're looking for this tiny little diamond.
All right, get out of there. Let's go.
yeah,
Come on.
Let's get to moving.
Well, I'm assuming this thing wants to go back in, right?
Indeed.
So you want us to kidnap him?
No, what?
No.
I just, maybe it can trade places again. I don't know. You see my hand again come against the glass. Hey. I knock on the glass a few times.
The glass figure turns back around to face the
Wait, you have to say what it says.
And it like steps forward so that its head is like leaning up against the mirror, still like neck craned forward, and it reaches its hand up to the mirror, like that sort of grasping motion. You see it kind of like scrape its nails in like a grabbing sort of motion, where all of its fingers like come together and meet at the middle, and it's trying to like grab onto the surface of the mirror, and says, "I seek to go home."
What do you seek?
I seek to go home. I seek to go home.
Okay. Well, doors open.
I think the next line is, what are you exchanging?
Oh yes. Wait, was it exchanging? Was that actually the wording?
No, it wasn't actually
hand
the
out.
word. I was paraphrasing.
I seek to go
Yes,
home.
I put my hand out. I'm gonna just push against it. I don't even think I can put my hand through this, but I'm gonna try anyway, just because I'm copying what it did.
It's sort of as it can see your hand moving towards a specific spot on the mirror, it moves its hand to like meet with yours and like grabs onto your hand. Now the exchange is kind of like happening. It has a hold of your hand, and its hand is partially extended into the mirror, and your hand is partially extended out of the mirror.
All right. I will sort of pull it towards me while exchanging places, like it did, in the same motion.
And it happens, and you guys sort of like connect in the middle, and then like half of each of you is sticking out as you like turn sideways, and then all of a sudden you're out and it's in, and you see it like kind of scurry into like scurry into the darkness.
Interesting.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
I wish to never speak of this ever again. Can we go, please?
Yep.
You should have seen it in there. There's a whole. I couldn't tell you how many things have been traded. That thing could single-handedly run economies.
That's what I'm saying. Why I haven't say.
Well, I imagine they have, with the amount of things in there.
Well,
It's also covered up by a giant painting.
yeah, but these people never clean their walls.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm
I pick
assuming
up the bag again.
the vampires use this for something, I imagine. Perhaps this is why they have so much power in this place.
Probably.
So do we just abandon such a resource to the vampires?
Well, I'm not sure. We should probably do that. Go look for a pinning or a sheet or just anything that can hide it.
In between its thumb and its index finger, a clear gem, a diamond,
Oh, sick.
and it extends its hand palm up to face its other one. Its other hand palm up out towards you.
I will walk over and I take it. Thanks, Glassman.
It doesn't just give it to you.
Oh.
It's not extending it through.
Do you take flashback tokens?
I have 10 pittons now.
I reach into my my bag and I pull out I pull out a block of incense, and I put it in his hand.
And as you kind of start to extend it into the mirror, it extends the diamond out of the mirror and like greedily grabs onto this block of incense before delivering to you this diamond.
Well,
I grab the diamond and I look towards the group. This is absolutely ridiculous.
yes, that is exactly what I was about to say.
It's a pretty sizable diamond too.
What is this? Do we ever have to leave this place?
I mean, I don't know if I call it ridiculous, but this thing is, it's, I don't really know what word I would use. A demigod or something like that?
Yes, hello inside the mirror. I would like to not die, please. I seek to never die.
He already did that first. That's why he gave me the diamond.
Yes, no, I'm not sure. I was testing some limitations here.
The hand sort of like, so the one has retreated back into the darkness with the incense. The other one is still there, and its hands, like its fingers, sort of curl in on like a loosely closed fist, and it just kind of pauses there, and then the hand opens back up, and as if the same motion that you would do with a hand when you like shrug, you know, like you raise both your arms and hands up a little bit at your sides. The arm just kind of like offers you a shrug.
I think you found its limitation.
Okay, so it cannot save people from death entirely.
No, its dominion is over material.
Material. I see.
All
Okay. Alright, but seriously, this is quite dangerous if this is how this works. We should not leave it as is, and we should probably, and I hate to linger on this, but this could be important. We should figure out how this works.
How this works? I mean, I've been in there. I think I have a good understanding.
I meant, like, is it one request a person, and that's how it works?
No.
I think it's just if you have something to exchange it, you just get it whatever it could provide.
Right.
Assuming it has some sort of hoard in there, and if it can
Yes,
answer
huge.
your request, it will.
That block of incense, like I said, it could turn it into anything. A sword, diamonds, anything, armor, anything at all.
Right.
Perhaps not magical, perhaps, that could be another limitation, but if it's a thing, it can weave it.
I look at the diamond. Can I gauge the value of this diamond?
It's like twice the size as the one that you used to revive Stazriel.
Whew, I sweat a little bit. I will mark that down then.
I think the one that you used was 300 GP, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like 600 GP.
Well, I'll tell you what. He answered your question and mine, Eamon. Because this little bugger right here will definitely save you from death.
What will?
I kind of flashed the diamond.
Oh, yes, money.
No, not money.
No?
No, I could use this as a part of an incantation to save you from death.
Oh, I see. Oh, that does make sense, Rylon. That is
Remember,
very good.
I used this on Stazriel, like, relatively when we first met Ilfharyn. Do you remember?
I think you were outside the house, and I was inside. You ran
Yeah.
out and saved his life, no?
Okay. Well, either way, this is what I did. So,
Oh. I'm sorry, I don't know how your magical, like, wiggles his fingers at you, god magic works.
well, if you paid attention a little bit more, maybe you would understand. And
It's
I
not
put
that important to me. He
I
turns
put-
away and looks back towards the mirror.
I put the diamond in my pocket.
Okay, well, one more test and we call it even. I would like a brick of platinum, please. And he holds out his second lantern, his secondary lantern.
What do you seek?
A brick of platinum.
What do you seek?
I seek a brick of platinum.
That's too specific. Just say riches or something.
Riches.
The hand retreats into the darkness.
Oh, is it gone?
I think
Okay,
it's had enough.
I don't know how this thing works.
It steps back into
Oh,
where you can see, or the figure itself doesn't step back in. Like you can only see the arm extend back out, and in its hand,
Don't say it.
in its hand is a small brick of platinum, like half the size of like a normal clay brick that we use in real life to build houses.
Yeah, I'm gonna exchange my secondary lantern with him. Does he hand me the brick of fucking platinum?
He would make the exchange with you.
Oh, we
This
can
thing's
farm this
heavy,
all
huh?
day. We can become rich.
Yeah, he turns around and Rylon, he's like looking at you with like big eyes, like
Dollar sign eyes.
yeah, literally like we could.
Yeah, like they sort of exchange at the exact same time. Like a quarter of the brick is sticking out, while a quarter of the lantern is going in, and then half and half, and then the exchange is equal in timing and synchronized, I should say.
I don't. Yeah, he's just kind of speechless looking at this this platinum bar.
All right, we had what we have. Let's get out of here, please.
Okay, let's find something to cover it first. Yes. This is extremely powerful. Like I'm talking, powerful enough to destabilize the entire, everywhere.
Yes, and
Maybe we
that's
should shatter
what I'm
it.
saying. How can we just
Shatter
leave
it?
this here?
Yes, maybe we should shatter it.
I don't think we should shatter it. I think we should just hide it.
I
Might
think
need
we
it for
should
something
use
in the
it.
future. We can't exactly carry it with us. It's rather large, and
Right,
people are
but
going to notice it.
Can't we use this to help the city during Darkreign? I mean, we save so many lives with this. If this is how this works.
I think that Eamon is actually onto something. What if we brought people here?
Oh, no. I immediately start waving
Like
my hands
like
up.
a sanctuary.
Like a sanctuary.
I mean,
Yes,
that I'm
and-
all right with, but to provide the knowledge that of his existence is problematic. Because all it takes is one person to come in here when no one's around and ask for something ridiculous.
Well, like Ilfharyn had said, we cover it. And then, as Eamon said, we help people.
Well,
Don't be such a sour serif, Rylon.
I don't like that
Rylon
wordplay.
has a
No.
good point. If we continuously bring things directly from the back, as it were, he does like two fingers, people will be suspicious, and we will also become a target for those with nefarious nature during Darkreign. So the question is, how do we help people using this and also prevent its location and potential abuse? If something evil gets a hold of this, I cannot imagine what it could
But
do.
it hasn't so far.
I can't believe that it's been behind a fucking painting.
Well, I don't know what to say. It hasn't so far. Otherwise, we would.
Listen,
It looks
This-
like an important painting. I don't
this
see why
place
anyone would want to
needs
destroy
a
it.
deep cleanse regardless. As soon
I'm
as I
just saying.
stepped foot in this place, originally, when we first came here, I heard voices in my head asking me if I was looking for power. Okay? This place is a cesspool for the downtrodden looking for the darker side of life. It is the home of Malakir, for Seraph's sake. Come on.
So then what? Do you think we just grab some rags and wash the walls in holy water or something?
I don't know,
So
but
that thing is not a fiend, at least.
I just
Or-
know that I don't feel comfortable with bringing people into a church for Malakir for safety.
Well, the
Then-
window's already gone.
Then we dismantle it from all trace of Malakir and, as you said, cleanse it.
It would take some time, but I would
It
not be
will.
opposed to it.
I'll just slap your god's name on it and be done with it.
I'd be okay
That's
with
what
that.
people do, right?
Do you think the windows need to be removed? And he looks up to the stained glass windows that have all these murals of.
Quite a few would be shattered from my shatter spell last week.
True. That's very true.
He would look at the shattered glass.
It's like on the
No, I don't
ground
think
in
so.
like large chunks, maybe the size of your hand or bigger.
Alright. Let's... I start pinching the bridge of my nose.
Yes, this is quite the situation.
Let us go back, deal with the lynch stag head first, see if whatever I start flashing the vial it provided me was useful, and then once that is complete, we will return here, kind of reforge it, and go from there.
Hey, Wait, he looks over. Where's Isaac been during all that?
He's still like leaning up against the wall, just about 10 feet to the side of the door, or the doors, I should say. Just kind of keeping watch as he was instructed to do.
Did he see all this?
He's probably been like glancing over from time to time, but judging by the fact that he hasn't come over, he's either tired or focused on what he's doing, or imagines that you guys probably have it covered. Whatever it is.
Oh, okay. He glances back towards the. This is very big. I don't know what to do.
We just cover it for now.
Alright, I start looking around for a rug or something big enough to cover the mirror.
There was in fact a giant, and there still is a giant like red carpet that leads from the doors, almost 200 feet over to the altar, like up the stairs and into the altar.
Okay. I go about the point where I feel like it's comfortable enough, where the carpet would drag about, let's say, 10 inches from the top of the mirror and drape past another 10 inches past it and use.
Hey, wait, hey, Rylon.
What?
Why don't you trade the carpet for a copy of the painting?
I just start taking my dagger out and slicing the
You,
carpet.
you know what? That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea.
Thing, you know? It's a good
Just
idea.
like a handheld copy of the mirror.
Yeah, we just trade something for a painting. Yeah, we just ask for a big painting.
Yes, if we could ask for the same painting and he can do that, we do that. If not, then a painting.
Yes.
And we trade the rug, which is quite a bit of material. This is a good idea, I know. I'm just saying.
I'm with Eamon here.
Oh, thank goodness.
I walk back up to the mirror.
Okay.
Tell it what you seek.
I just kind of like roll my hand, like get on with it.
What do you seek?
Yeah. I seek a painting large enough to cover this mirror.
It drums its fingernails along the mirror for a moment before
Huge painting gets fucking tossed
or
out.
retreats into the darkness, like, over the course of 4 or 5 seconds.
And make it of
And-
Solima.
Okay, so let me re-narrate that one then. As it's dragging its arm back into the darkness, it's like just barely still in sight, like its hand is, only its hand. And that's when you say like, and make it something of Solima, and the hand pauses there for a moment. And then continues retreating back into the darkness.
This glass guy's in his room just going like, these motherfuckers, bro. They don't finesse way too much.
You think it can give us Halifax back?
The hand sort of like pushes forward a rolled up like cloth canvas. Keep in mind the mirror is not like gigantic. Like it wouldn't be able to fit like a solid copy of the painting through, but maybe a cloth one, yes. So it's doing just that. And it's got like this rolled up, like, when rugs are rolled up, like what size they are, that's kind of what the size of this painting that it's like holding up in a cloth canvas, trying to extend into the mirror, and it holds it right before the edge of the mirror.
All right. I reach into my pocket and I place my mace against it.
It sort of slowly lowers down and puts the cloth on the ground, on the inside of the mirror.
Oh, what?
Before bringing its hands together, both of them, and sort of like drumming the fingertips against each other as if in thought, or like, how do I explain this?
Give it the rug. You took quite a bit of material from it, no?
And it sort of gestures to Eamon with both hands as if like yes, thank you.
All right. So I walk back over and I drag the red carpeted rug.
I
that
would
sliced
assist
up,
him dragging it towards there.
And
Okay.
we lift it. We kind of rolled up and lift it in there and push it against the mirror, I suppose.
And as it sees the rug coming forward with you guys, it like lifts the cloth canvas back up, and as you start to push your rug into the mirror, it starts pushing the canvas into the mirror as well, and so the exchange happens in real time simultaneously. Like if you guys were to stop pushing the rug in, it would stop pushing the cloth out. So any pauses are like 1-to-1 ratio.
All right. Well, we push it in.
Okay, and so you guys lose that giant chunk of the carpet or rug, but you gain this large rolled up cloth canvas painting.
All right. I unravel the painting.
It's a pretty big one, but it's large enough to cover the mirror. Poor guy. And you see that it's an image of Solima,
Sick.
like depicted exactly as Solima would be, with like the symbol of Solima behind the figure of Solima.
I like that. All right. I guess I'll shoot my. I guess my wings are already out, but I will kind of raise above the ground and take out. I have some pittons of my own, and I look around. I said, "Do any of you have like a hammer or something?" I can
Yes,
use
I do.
All right.
Came with the pittance.
I lower back down and grab the hammer, and slowly hammer these pittons against the fucking wall to kind of secure the canvas painting and covering the mirror.
And so, for our listeners who are unfamiliar with Solima, Solima is depicted as a robed, long-haired woman bearing a glowing greatsword and whose feet do not touch the ground. So, the image of Solima is like she's there wearing the robe, she's got her hair down, and she's got her greatsword kind of like held in both hands in front of her chest, with the blade of it pointing down, and it extends down past where her feet were, or her feet are, which it kind of like has this appearance as if she's like floating above the ground, kind of, and her wings are extended. And behind her is this large green diamond shape. Diamond being the shape, not like as in a gem, but like large green diamond shape with like a sun or a star. It could be interpreted as either one. Sort of like poking out to all sides, like the little light rays behind her. So that's kind of what the painting looks like, and Rylon secures it into place fairly easily. The cut stone has like thin cracks, which, you know, because they're kind of like giant oversized bricks, it makes it pretty easy to get those mounts in where you're trying to get them.
Excellent. I lower back
just
down
like, ting, 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 ting.
look at the painting or the canvas and give a solemn nod. And all right, you guys ready?
Yes. I'm not entirely sure what we're supposed to do with that vial, but we'll work it out.
Don't you feel kind of bad for it?
Kind of, yes.
Well, I think that we will become good friends with it in the short future.
Right,
Do you think that it would accept donations?
Likely.
Possibly.
Like we could just give it a spare pitten.
Well, maybe we can try that when we come back. I personally think that it probably actually quite likes this.
But it can create magical objects. That's
Yes, but
interesting.
put it this way, right? If you could have anything at all, but you were stuck in one place, what's the point of any of it?
But it liked it there. It wanted to go home.
Yes, it wanted to go home, but at the same time, it doesn't have any interaction with anybody. This is what it does. This is how it gets new things. I mean, not really. It could just make anything new, but it's interesting for it. Interaction. Maybe it's sociable. Who knows?
Well, we can.
So.
I am very paranoid about someone finding this.
We'll be fine. Let's go get the head. Maybe go back home, get some more rations, and figure out exactly what we're doing with this, and then we can come back here and deal with the sanctuary idea.
Would you like me to stay here? Keep an eye on it.
I squint my eyes at Stasriel.
I mean, it shouldn't take too long for you guys to return. Just cast invisibility on me or something, and I'll just stay perched above it.
No, Stasriel, I think you'll be coming with us.
Okay.
I do have a small idea, but I know it's going to make Rylon roll his eyes, but He kind of like, oh wait, fuck, I can't. I'm not gonna undo your work, Rylon. But I feel as though we should attempt to get some way of knowing if someone arrives here before us through this thing, before we leave it.
I don't know how you mean.
Well, through magical means, we could be informed if someone were to stumble upon this thing. If this thing can do magical things, it is certainly a common way to make sure something is secure.
Well, I'm sure there'll be no one of importance come through this way besides beasties and creatures.
Possible nefarious vampires checking out their new open real estate.
Look, nobody's found this before. How long? I don't know. We'll be fine.
Okay, let's make it quick.
This whole interaction has been great.
All right, we scurry home.
Okay.
All right, Isaac, let's go.
Isaac almost looked like he was dozing off just a little bit at the watch, and kind of like stands up at attention when you come up to him. Everything's fine. Everything's clear. And you're like, all right, hey, let's go. And he's already used his kind of like dark thing. That's when you guys got attacked by shadow stealers last time. And so is there any sort of precaution that you take on the way home, or any specific means that you go home? Just for my own.
Yeah, I cast light on myself, on my holy symbol.
Okay. By now you guys probably know the route, and so he doesn't need to like handhold and guide you guys or anything like that. And so he moves along with you guys. I think here we're just gonna take a 5. I'm gonna get some water, kind of give my voice just a second to relax.
Yeah.
And we
Sounds
will
good.
return sometime between 5 and 10 after the hour. We're back. We resume with the party is traveling. They rejected the idea of Stazriel staying behind. And so it is Isaac, Stazriel, Eamon, Rylon, and Ilfharyn going back to kind of the Olsen hideout. And they declared that they would be having their lanterns on, and I think Rylon, you cast the spell Light, right?
Yes, sir. Right on my symbol of Solar.
Yeah, they're not gonna mess around with Shadow Stealers again. So they're headed back, and not that all of a sudden the city is safe or anything like that, but you seem to get back unimpeded. The travel is just a couple minutes of you guys jogging. You weren't very far from the cathedral, just venturing a little bit deeper into the city again, and you find yourself coming up on the street where the hideout is.
Mind if I roll a quick glance around, perception check, make sure we weren't followed?
Yeah, by all means. In fact, I will say that you are the... Do you want to be the first or the last in the line?
First.
Okay, yeah, then roll that for me.
Very eager to get here and back. A 10.
And that was an advantage too, dang.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's on a +6. Oh my gosh, wait, what were your rolls?
Wow.
A
Not
4
good.
and a 2.
Damn, you
Wow.
Listen, I'm getting them out now, so that later when I'm fighting for my life,
He's
I'm
too
good.
busy money grubbing over that block of platinum.
Money,
he's got.
listen, this could change the world.
He's
Rylon.
like Mr. Krabs over here.
Money.
The brick of platinum would be heavy in his pocket.
You, yeah, it's like weighing your pants down. You don't see anything trailing you, and you don't see anything in front of you before everyone would see it. At which point you guys come around the corner, you jog for like 30, 40 more feet, or maybe 100 feet away from the hideout. And as you get into like dim light range, you all probably simultaneously, as you're kind of clumped up, I'd imagine, spot a body on the ground in front of the hideout. And there's blood pooled around it. It's not human. It is a creature of some sort, one that you don't quite recognize, but it looks like a dog, sort of, with 4 front legs and sort of like a leathery black body.
Isaac?
He kind of like slows down his jog to a walk, and his eyes are just kind of wide, and they trail towards the door. You guys see that the door to the hideout is open, and there's not just this body, but a couple more out in front of the hideout.
Oh, I knew this was going to happen.
No. And he quickens his step, like walking with purpose. Is there anything that you guys would do before he does that, or anything that you do while he does that?
I reach out with my arm, like, obviously I wouldn't touch him because I don't know how far ahead he is of me. I'm like, Isaac, wait!
He stops all of a sudden and kind of like turns over his shoulder to look at you. What do you mean, wait? I'm going down there.
We are all going down there, but we have to be careful. There's no need in throwing caution against the wind. We have to make sure that what is down there, we don't know what's there. Regardless...
He cuts you off with a wave and just, I'm going down there. And starts like striding towards the door.
I usher forward as well, kind of hurrying up.
Ugh.
This much closer, you see the full kind of scene outside the hideout. The door's flung open. One of the bolts actually just like stripped out entirely and on the ground. There are like 4 or 5 deadbolts, as you could recall. And there are a few of these sort of assorted creatures, none of them the same as the previous, just scattered around. A couple of them look like they have trails of blood that lead from the doorway up towards the surface, and it looks like they were injured and in getting to the surface maybe bled out or something, like right out there. And there are a couple things of note. There's a thin trail of blood that goes away from the hideout, and then there are these trails of blood coming from within the hideout. So it's like a right or a left. Do you go down, or do you investigate the other way, or who knows? But it looks like Isaac is pretty intent on going into the hideout.
Yeah, I continue following him. For sure.
He steps through. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Any of you guys?
Does this blood, just real quick, while we're walking, and look extremely like fresh? Like, is it still like the one going out of the hideout and getting dragged away?
I would say so. It's not all dried yet. It's dried at the edges, but like not towards the center, wherever it's pulled up. You guys were only gone for maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and so there's a lot of the blood that is still kind of like not dried up. It's a very thick, viscous substance, kind of like paint.
Let's make this quick. If they're not down here, we should move.
Isaac is breathing heavily as he steps into the doorway and into the top of the stairwell leading down. Give me a lantern. Give me a lantern. He like reaches towards Eamon.
He'd unlatch his lantern from his belt and hand it over.
He draws a sword from his scabbard at his side and produces the lantern in his other hand out in front of him. You see that there are now, like, as you're going down the stairs, scratches. And if there's anything you guys would do, feel free to cut me off. But you see scratches leading up from the basement. And even a couple bloody handprints, maybe 1 or 2 by 2.
How big are the handprints?
Yeah, I didn't want to ask, but
they're like human adult size. And Isaac spots it, and he kind of like hangs up on it for a moment before taking another deep breath. His breathing kind of hurried, and he continues to delve down into the underground, further and further until he gets to the other door, and the other door is also open. And he almost slips on the blood coming out the stairs a couple times. And he gets down there into the open, and the walls that are lined with those cages, there's an odd silence where you don't seem to hear any of the creatures making noise, the caged creatures. And he turns to both sides holding out the lantern, and you see that these cages are opened. The place is kind of a mess. The table in the middle is toppled over on its side as if somebody was trying to grab something quickly. And the cages are just all open. There's a couple bodies from other creatures. One of them being kind of like humanoid, but like pale skin, very long tongue, like hanging out from its mouth, with like milky white eyes and long, elongated, clawed fingers, just like there with its innards spilled out on the ground. and another figure that is sort of like halfling sized, but it has a tail and like the head of a goat.
Is it alive? Sorry.
It's dead. It's definitely dead.
Okay.
Isaac is kind of like choking up on his words.
Well,
What do you mean, well?
we need to go.
Troy! He's like, you can hear his voice echoing down here in this, stone room that just bounces right off the walls. Troy! You down here?
It doesn't seem to be the case, man. We should move on. There was a trail leaving this place.
We'll follow the trail. Yes.
He nods a couple times, turns around to face towards the stairs. You guys are closer to the stairs than he is. Then go. Come on.
I start rushing up the stairs.
Now listen, you'd say, like, jogging and huffing up the stairs. Not very strong. We should really be careful along this route. So just keep an eye out. Don't stumble into something, Isaac. I understand you're upset. You'd be calling after him.
He doesn't say anything in response, like breathing heavily, probably thoughts like racing through his mind.
Yeah, Rylon is also a bit stressed right now because Clemens was there, so he's not feeling too good about himself right now.
Stazriel is quick on your tail, Rylon, as you're making your way up the stairs, and you kind of like burst out into the open again, dark open of Darkreign in Nov Ostoya, back where those corpses of mismatched creatures are just there in the open, and there's that trail of blood that leads away, that thin one. It looks like drops, not quite like a smear, but like drops.
Just keep moving, just follow it.
Yeah, so there's a thin sort of trail of blood, kind of like blood drops, not quite smears. Does anyone want to do a survival to track it? The thing about it is, if it were like a steady flow, like super easy to track, the person would probably clearly be dead. So it's kind of sparse. There are like trickles and blotches and stuff like that, and handprints on walls as you're like running down the street.
Could give it a whirl.
Let me assist you in this, Eamon. And I also guide you as we're looking through the blood.
Thank you, sir. 18.
18. Okay. So you follow the trail, and it leads further away from the heart of Nov Ostoya, back sort of in the direction of your house that you guys boarded up. Shorthanding it, because I think that it would go uninterrupted. You guys make your way back to... You follow the trail, and it goes all the way back to the house. The door is closed. There are no lights from the inside, and there's a bloody handprint on the door.
I just open the door. Is there still the arcane lock on this?
Mm-hmm.
I say the password.
You don't need to. You
Yo,
Yeah,
Bubba.
you guys, you guys can automatically open it.
Alright,
and,
I open
and so the door opens, and you see kind of like sitting down in front of the fireplace, back resting up against the wall, legs outstretched in front of him, Troy, and he seems to be holding his midsection with a bloody hand, and kind of like weakly raises up a short sword towards the door the moment that it starts to open. He's just
Alright.
breathing kind of shallow, doesn't say anything.
Because obviously the light is glowing. I immediately, wings still out, I fucking rush into the room, and he sees me, I guess, right away, unless Isaac shoves his way through.
I think he would definitely shove his way in second. If you're the one that opens the door, you probably go in first, he goes in second.
Following behind him.
Troy, are you alright?
His eyes kind of like half shut, and his head nods a little bit.
I kind of immediately come to a kneel next to him, and I put my hands on where his wound is, I'm assuming, where he's holding his side. And I will cast Cure Wounds on him at second level.
Okay.
I'm running viciously low on spell slots. But let me roll here real quick. So it's 2d8 plus 4.
Troy, come on. Stay with
10
me.
HP he gets back as the wound starts to magically heal back up.
What happened? And he's like, Isaac is there with you, holding onto Troy's shoulder, and Troy is sitting there, and as this kind of like glowing teal energy like swirls around your arm, kind of like a candy cane swirl, or a corkscrew, and sort of flows into him, running in towards his wounds and mending them in whatever way. You see him slowly sort of like lower the short sword down and rest it at his side, and like lean his head back against the wall, taking in like a little bit fuller breaths now. I'm not sure. I don't know. We were there, the kid and I.
Where's the boy?
He sort of like rolls his head to the side, like still leaning against the wall, and sort of like his helmet's still on, like the kettle helmet, and like kind of points his eyes up towards the stairwell.
I immediately kind of pull my hand off from once the incantation is complete and just leave him there and make my way up the stairs.
Stazriel is already on his way up the stairs as well. Like the moment that he pointed his eyes that way, Stazriel, like before you stood up, Stazriel's already going up. He starts making his way up the stairs. What about Eamon and Ilfharyn?
I'm looking around for the Leshtag head.
I'm kind of just taking a backseat here. I'm waiting until there's more information, but you know, Rylon really likes the kid, and honestly, Isaac and I can't remember his name.
Troy.
Isaac and Troy are together, so.
Father and son.
The Lenchtag head is not in the main room of the house. You don't see it here.
Oh no.
He looks down at Mr. Troy. Where is the head of the beast?
It's with the boy.
Wonderful. Okay, Isaac, prepare your son to move if possible, so we can get out of here and back to the church as soon as possible.
I just need a minute.
Yep.
Troy kind of like weakly raises a hand, like putting it up, like, no, don't touch me.
He walks away from the scene and starts jogging up the stairs.
And as you jog up the stairs, you catch up behind Rylon and Rylon and Stez. Realize that you guys probably all three get to the door at the same time, just to kind of keep everyone together. And Stezriel opens the door and is immediately greeted by like the point of a spear. It doesn't like jab into him or anything like that, but it's like it's right there in front of him. And don't do it. It's fine. It's just me. It's okay. We're here. We're back. And the boy kind of like slowly starts to put the spear down and back away and like just kind of falter to the ground. And you're there, Rylon. So anything that you would do, you can do.
I can't help but smile, seeing the sense of kind of just the overall heroism in this boy. He's definitely has his father's blood in him, and there's a sense of content in Rylon, but still a bit nervous as to make sure that everything's all right. And Clemens, are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm a bit scared.
Okay, that's normal. I'm glad you're all right. You're not injured, are you?
No, Troy protected me. I think he's hurt. Is he gonna be okay?
He's going to be fine. Don't worry.
He like sort of lets the spear clatter to the ground and just kind of balls up a little bit. And in the corner of the room is the Lenchtag's head, like still covered up in the cloth, or the cloak.
Yeah, I immediately go for the head, grab it by the horns, still covered in the cloth, and just rip it out of this fucking room. I don't want it anywhere near this kid.
If you walk it towards the door, I'll take it out of your hands and bring it out of the room.
Alright, yeah.
Rylon, have him pack whatever small amount of things he has so we can get moving as soon as possible. He could have been followed here. He left a trail. We should go to the church.
I nod. Right. I'll be down in a second.
He nods back and leaves.
Turn towards Clement. Is there anything that you would like to take before we leave? Because I'm going to be honest with you, son. We're not going to return here ever again.
His face kind of scrunches up a little bit, and his eyes well a little bit. This is my home. I don't want to leave.
At least for now. Until Darkreign is over.
And then we'll come back? You promise?
I can only keep one promise. And my promise to you is to bring you to your father. So you're going to have to give up this house regardless. Now, I need you to do me a favor. And have me a promise. That strength and that valor you showed as soon as we open this door, I need you to hold on to that until we reach Talstar. I need you to promise me that you will have the strength to get there. Are you prepared?
His face scrunches up more, like that kind of like crying face, you know? And it's only for like a moment where like he kind of gives into it, and he really just wants to like bawl and let it out, and he takes in a deep breath and a sniff and wipes one of his eyes with like the back of a balled fist, and his hand like slowly sort of seeks the spear. I can do that.
Right. Gather whatever you like. Anything that your father or your mother left you, anything valuable to yourself. Now's the time, because we're going to be leaving.
He nods, sniffles a couple times, and continues to wipe his eyes with the back of his hand, and kind of uses the spear to stand up, kind of propping himself up. And Stazriel steps over and like puts a hand on his shoulder. I don't know what to take.
Your father didn't leave you anything? Is there anything that you have that reminds you of him, or your mother, or anything?
He reaches into his pocket now, and produces something that you may not have noticed before. Maybe he didn't have it with him. Maybe he got it when he came back here just now. But kind of like a wooden sort of symbol of Moriel, like the figure of the kind of like Atlas-esque humanoid kneeling down and holding up this like wheel of like spikes kind of coming out from all sides, and just kind of like a single token with it sort of carved into it. Just this. I think just this.
I reach. Is it just like a symbol, or is it like attached to like anything, like a necklace or a rope?
Kind of like a leather strap, like a thin leather strap.
All right, I hold my hand out for it.
He looks reluctant, and then eventually extends his hand, kind of giving it to you.
I take it. I kind of look at it, kind of turn it around, and then I kind of loosen up the strap of it, and I kind of wrap it around him like a necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, it's not going to do you any good in your pocket. Keep it close to here. And I kind of like point to my heart, and I just kind of point back to his.
He nods, offers to take it with that hand. Stazriel grabs the spear, holding it up for him while he puts it around his neck.
Right, go. And I go for the door. Make my way
Did you
back
get what
down.
you needed?
Yes, we did.
I'll collect up as many rations as I can from him.
Ooh, good call.
I'm just sitting there swinging the head with the bag.
There were still like 5 days of rations here. We ruled that Rylon was only able to carry 2 days worth of it for everyone, and you guys ate one of those days already.
Yeah, we'll take the rest of the rations. I'll take 2 days worth for all of us.
Okay. I'd say probably amongst all the few of you, you're able to make sure that everyone's carrying like a fair amount for you to get it all. You have, 6 of you there.
So 5 days rations for everyone. That's what we got, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think he has the 6 still because he took 2, right? We ate 1 set of them, so we have 6 total.
Yeah, 6 days total. Okay. Yep.
All right. He'd still be swinging the head in like a small circle. All right, let's go. He peeks his head in. Isaac.
I look towards Troy and Isaac.
Come on, son. Stand up. Come on. And he's like kind of getting his hand underneath Troy's armpit and like both arms now under his armpit, like trying to just like help pick him up. And Troy's just like, he's weak right now, and uses the wall behind himself to kind of like prop himself up. And Isaac stands there in front of him, like hands on both of his shoulders. You're all right. You get to move. There's a cathedral that we went to. You've been to it. You know where it is. Can you make it there? It's like a 2-minute jog from here. Maybe like a 5-minute walk. 6-minute walk, maybe. I think so, yeah. I think I can.
Great. Isaac, you watch him. Give me my lantern.
And Isaac takes one of Troy's. He gives you the lantern, yeah.
Mhm.
And he takes one of Troy's arms, like puts it over his shoulder, kind of like like helping, assisting him in walking or moving.
Great. I would just take out a small vial of oil and refill my lantern, and walk up to the front door, looking back at the rest. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. And he opens the door, looking around. Let me roll a perception check, if you don't mind, as soon as I step out.
Sure. Man, another 10 at advantage. Your rolls this time were a 1 and a 4. Worse than last time. Impressive.
Okay, we're just getting them out of the way. Everything seems normal, right?
Yeah, you don't spot anything.
Sick. I get moving towards the cathedral. Lantern on my belt.
As you begin moving, probably taking the lead now, right?
Oh yeah.
I guess I kind of want to know, like, the rough sort of, what order are we traveling in? It does matter.
I would be leading in the front with my my symbol lit up still because it lasts an hour with light. So I'm assuming it's still lit by now still. So kind of like ushering, moving as quick as possible in the front.
Eamon, do you allow this, or are you trying to stay in the front?
No, if he wants to hustle out of me, it's fine. I will take the second place.
Okay.
I'm just making sure we're moving quickly, and then I would like Troy and then Isaac in between, probably, if Ilfharyn does not mind.
I don't mind.
Okay, and then Ilfharyn at the back. And Stazriel.
Stazriel, if he could be, he would probably try and be in front of Ilfharyn, since he's got Clement with him. And Clement's doing like a sort of a piggyback over Stazriel's shoulders, plural, I suppose. And so I guess that's let me write that down really quick. I want to actually note down that. So Rylon, Eamon.
What's the worst that could happen on a 2-minute walk? Psh.
Rylon, Eamon, Isaac, Troy, and then Staz / Clement, and then Ilfharyn. Okay.
Honestly, shouts out to Troy for being like severely wounded and still bringing the head.
How do you know it was Troy?
I mean, you said that shit was like the size of my chest. So if that little boy lifted that whole ass head, shouts out.
Yeah. Well. So you guys travel out the building. You take the first right. You go to the market. You take the left, and you're headed away from the house. You move down the street a couple 100 feet. You pass another side street, and then another, and then out into kind of like the street surrounding the cathedral. You guys probably made the right decision to leave the house so quickly, considering that there was a trail of blood that would have led to it. And as you round the side of the cathedral, out towards the front, you make your way to the front of the cathedral, where these vampire bodies are. Most of them are still there. Some of them are missing. Perhaps food for the creatures of Darkreign, dogs or bats or whatever else, more humanoid sort of twisted figures that were hungry and grabbed something and skulked back off into the night or darkness. It could be daytime right now, but there you are, still some bodies strewn about the front of the cathedral. Now what?
Just make my way inside.
Carefully now, Rylon.
I
You
would,
can't put a
I
hand
would
on
open
your
the door, but I would wait
Yeah.
until everyone gets inside.
Okay.
I stop.
Perhaps peek ahead in first.
I guess I grab the left door. I slowly pull it back as only my eyes peer through. He goes, as I look and make sure see what's inside.
As you kind of creak the door open, quickly, a a sword blade levels with where your neck would be, but it's like from the side, and it is a golden blade.
Ah, this guy.
Okay, this motherfucker.
Of course. Yakov, could you take a step back with the blade, please?
How is it?
It's your good friend who sold you your armor. Or ring, rather.
He kind of like sidesteps around the door so that now you can see him and he can see you. So it is. He
Yes.
lowers the sword slowly.
I just open the door.
Anything follow you? Anything? You drive anything here?
What are you
Very
worried about?
possibly. So can we come inside before anything spots
Yes,
us?
come on in.
You'd step in.
Close the door. Come on. Like
I wait
everyone
for
kind of
everyone-
files
yeah.
in.
I wait for everyone to get in before I close the door. I shut it.
Coming out from the darkness is that same female vampire figure that you saw hunting with Yakov. Yakov he's got a couple like splatters of blood on him. The blade, though, the like golden plated sword that he has is still it's probably either recently been cleaned or blood just didn't stick to it.
Judging by your caution, I'm assuming the hunt was treacherous tonight.
Treacherous is an understatement.
Well, I cannot say that I am glad to see you alive, but I'm also not surprised.
And for the rest of you, your first night of Darkreign.
Ah,
He's kind of like licking his teeth and kind of like pursing his lips and overall kind of resting bitch face.
well, we're all alive.
He brings a hand up, kind of like his hair is already like greased back, but he like brings his hand up and kind of like runs it over from the front of his head to the back of his head, and then like itches the back right above one of his ears. I see that something happened here.
Yes, the Pharaoh faithful were evicted.
Shortly before they evicted of your kind. You're welcome.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, we came here for knowledge, to seek your kind for some answers. And when we got here, the bodies were strung up about and littered the front porch of the cathedral. And there were nothing more here but, as my friend here stated, that a pharaoh fallen. Or faithful, sorry. And, well, we got rid of them. Or at least most of them.
I hate to say it, but thank you.
Right. But if you do not mind, we now plan taking refuge here. And,
As do I. Both of us. And he like turns his head over towards the other vampire.
So, given the circumstances, I'm going to say this again. Darkreign is a time where both you and our kind are pitted against the worst. Do you wish to form an alliance, yes or no?
I think a better phrasing would be ceasefire. Or
Yes or no?
non-aggression pact.
Well, I can trust
But-
you, but
Given the
I look towards the female vampire.
she kind of like opens her mouth, lets her jaw slack a little bit, and like runs her tongue along one of her kind of like extended canine teeth. She's a slender figure, hair dark down to her collarbone, so not like extremely long, and maybe about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. So pretty fair height, and she just has like her hands both rested on two very thin swords at her sides, like S-stocks or something similar. It's hard to tell because the scabbards are a bit deceiving. Fine. An alliance, I guess.
I hold out my hand.
You're not gonna burn me or something, are you?
That depends. You plan on breaking this pact?
No, I mean, if I shake your hand, I'm not gonna burst into flames, right?
Guess you're going to have to find out, won't you?
Rolls his eyes, kind of like rolls his head to the side too at the same time. Slips on a glove and extends his hand to shake yours.
All right.
It's a pretty firm grip.
I give him a firm grip, and I I do like kind of like a small pull towards me, and my eyes kind of glow with a radiant yellow, and I say, "If your friend here decides that she gets a little thirsty and steps anywhere near that boy, she'll be a shadow. Do you understand?"
If you raise a hand to her, you will be a shadow. Understand?
Alright, let's all put it away for now, okay? We have to spend the next 30 minutes in here together. Back in the pants, boys, come on.
Just out of habit, he draws in like a lengthy inhale through his nose. He breaks off. He separates his hand from yours, if you would not prevent him from doing so.
I don't prevent it.
And steps back about 2 feet away from you, or further than he was from you. And looks over you, and then Stazriel, and then back towards Isaac and Troy. Isaac still kind of holding up Troy, but now starting to walk over towards the nearest wall to like let him rest down. And then to Eamon, who he lingers his eyes on for a little bit longer than everyone else, and then over to Ilfharyn.
You'd look very uncomfortable when he's being looked at by a fucking bloodsucker.
I guess this is, do we separate do we portion out areas for each other, or?
Let's just split up watch for now so we can all get a minute of rest before we figure out what to do next.
If you trust us, we can take first watch. We don't need to rest yet.
We can all rest. I look around the cathedral. Is there like some sort of room or like an office where like perhaps like whoever was preaching here had like some sort of small like location to kind of to himself?
Ooh, you know what? Give me just a small second, because I'm not sure. We might use the map for an encounter again in the future. Who knows? So I just want to make sure I have an accurate representation in my mind. I'm actually going to open up Tailspire really quick, go into the encounter map, and just take a peek around so I can better answer that question. Take me just a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so after a quick glance around, so the stairs leading up on each side, there are also stairs that lead down into kind of like an under of the cathedral. There are also, behind all the pews, like closest to the door that you guys came in from, there are also 2 little tiny sort of pocket rooms that are really only like 10 feet by 10 feet. And they each have like a little candle in there. Not really sure what the purpose of them would possibly be, but those little rooms are there too. So you have 2 of these little 10 foot by 10 foot rooms, and then an entire basement underneath the giant ass cathedral that you guys are in.
Okay. I'm
The
gonna
cathedral to Malakir.
Yeah. Can only imagine what the fuck is below this damn church.
Nothing good. I'm gonna start wandering, giving like a small wave to Yakov as I go past him to the other side of the cathedral to set up my sleeping bag and take a glance at the painting or the mural that we left inconspicuously.
You said you're just taking a glance at it?
Yeah, I'm just like coming over there. I'm trying to see if it's been fiddled with. I'm looking at I'm like setting up my bag down here, right? And trying to not look like I'm doing something, but I am looking at these pittons, right? Like I'm like trying to see if it's been fucked with. Like if this Yakov guy knows this place and was like, huh, that's new. And then moved it. So they were pitted into the wall.
You can make an investigation.
Fuck. This guy.
Were we just talking about that before the session?
Yep.
About you making all these investigations?
I like perception checks. I don't like yeah, I don't like investigation. Ah! Oh, I like investigation.
Yeah, an 18, better than all your at advantage perception rolls, and your investigation is a -1. Wow. So pretty good roll.
This time,
it doesn't appear to have been tampered with at all.
All right. Yakov gets to live another night. I think about as I kind of snuggle into my sleeping bag.
As you hit your peace pipe.
I don't break it out tonight. I'm kind of a little... My stomach's curled into a knot. I ain't too happy about working with vampires and...
You guys have only been awake for like 5 hours.
Yeah. I will...
It's your last long rest.
I will usher everyone to kind of post up in that half of the cathedral, so closer towards the mural that I just of Solima, right?
Got it. Yeah.
And I will. What I will do is that I will cast. Shouts out to being. We just leveled up recently, so I gained an extra spell slot. So I'm going to sit there for a couple seconds as I hold on to my holy symbol and I start remembering a couple words. Solima, hopefully she gives me the strength and the power necessary once again to bring forth a guardian and a slowly but surely a small spectral large being starts to kind of formulate as a kind of it almost gives off a silverish kind of glow for what it was once radiant before a once spectral Halifax is now a large standing full-plated gunmetal looking spectral Gabriel.
Yeah, the
With
moment
a-
you said
with-
full-plated gunmetal.
With a large greatsword kind of posted up, just kind of slammed down right in front of our kind of little area, a little huddled area.
That is awesome. And when you invite everyone over there, are you also inviting the vampires over there?
Yes.
Okay.
He's like laying in his sleeping bag in front of the mural.
And both Yakov and the female vampire, they're standing like cross-armed, looking at this giant canvas painting of Solima. What the fuck is this?
Well, since we've managed to occupy this space, we thought we'd feel more at home, so.
Where was... What? Where did you get this from?
My water skin.
We are, he says from the bed, we have magical means of obtaining things, and this God-loving man enjoys spreading the word of Solima everywhere he goes.
She rewards me with canvases. It's a good deal.
He kind of like shakes his head very slightly side to side, like in disbelief, squinting his eyes. His eyes are like drifting downward. What?
I mean no disrespect, Yakov, but I'm not going to sleep in the home of Malakir. At least, lighten up the place a bit.
I don't like the guy any more than you do. The fiend. It's a bit shocking how quickly you redecorated the place.
Yes, we are quite magical, each one of us. Would you like us to show you some magic tricks, or could I take a nice, break here? I have been through a lot of fighting, and, yes, he says, still, cuddled up in his little sleeping bag.
I suppose I don't really care what you do at this point. Okay. Yeah, weird.
I find a spot, and probably somewhere between Stazriel and the boy, and
I was just gonna say Stazriel's probably up against the wall. Not sitting into it, just laying down near the wall to the left of the new canvas painting there. And the boy is probably not far from him, a couple feet away.
Yeah, I would ask Isaac to help me out, and anyone else who was just to assist to move some of these pews and kind of block the front door so nothing can kind of get in.
He'd look up at the giant holes in the glove.
I mean, yeah, but that's a flying creature at the very least. But anything can kind of kick down this fucking front door, and I'd rather not have that happen. So I'm gonna kind of barricade this door as best I can.
Isaac has brought Troy over to rest him up against the wall and is just kind of talking quietly with him, pretty quietly, and has kind of a confused look on his face, like they're having a conversation that he can't quite wrap his head around, and then that's when you kind of ask him to help you, and he turns his head over his shoulder and just a second. And he says something quietly to Troy, and kind of like pats him once on the shoulder before standing up and moving over to help you.
And I point over towards Yakov. You as well, come on.
And Yakov kind of like
Yeah.
reluctantly makes his way over. I suppose this helps me too. And he goes about helping you alongside Isaac. These are pretty big pews, so I suppose 3 people would honestly probably just move like one of them. Or
Yeah.
there's no sense in one person trying to move one alone. So yeah, you guys move them, and
figured
I would give the
'cause
process like
he's got
5
like
or
super strength, right?
yeah.
He can help us with this, because I'm assuming they're kind of probably like either nailed to the ground or they're made with like really thick like wood. Like they're definitely not light.
It's definitely a
So-
very heavy material, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, because they're not something that needs to move around. They're not like secured to the floor, but they are just an ultra heavy material. And
Got it.
so the 3 of you are able to move one at a time, and they're like in sections of like 8 feet long benches, and so probably wide enough to block like the whole door and then like extend on each side a little bit more. So if you wanted to put it like sideways with the back of them against the door, that could work.
So the way I'm thinking of it is that we put one against the front door, so like elongated, like so it covers the whole front door. And if it's willing, we grab 2 more and we place it one on kind of pointing vertically on each end of it. So if someone were to push it open, they'd have to push like it's kind of like half square fixture that we have here of pews. So we have the anchor at the door and these 2 weighted sides to kind of like keep the door completely secure.
Okay, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. I think totally doable. You've got Isaac and you've got Yakov.
All right. So we spend the next however long 20-30 minutes doing that.
Yep, probably about it. It's a very large building, and that is from like the pews to those doors. It's like I think like 100 feet, and these things are heavy as hell. So you kind of gotta like walk slowly with them or like waddle with them.
Yeah, that's fine. And also just make it as a note that Yakov and his friend are non-hostile towards me, so Spectral Gabriel for the next 8 hours is not going to randomly swing at them if they walk by.
Okay. Well, then I think that gets done then, and that's a good clarification on the Spectral Gabriel part. I also really love that you've summoned Halifax and now Gabriel. That's so cool. And I don't really have anything else to add. It's a very quiet sort of atmosphere with the cathedral. Troy is like quietly sort of just resting off to the side, like back propped up against like the corner where to the right of the large canvas meets the wall. That corner behind the altar, and Stazriel is just kind of like resting there. He's now sitting upright, like cross-legged, just watching over the boy that's like laying down a couple feet away from him in Stazriel's bedroll. And the female vampire is not interested in talking to anyone or interacting with anyone, it seems.
That's fine.
Do you need anything else from me?
You are free to roam or to rest as you see please.
Right.
So we will be doing the same.
Those side rooms, do you mind if we use those?
By all means.
He kind of like whistles once, high pitched. Both Troy and the boy and Stazriel, all 3 of them, kind of like lift their head up, like glaring for a moment, and then kind of it's just Yakov, and they just sort of lower their heads back down.
Yeah, it's that jack off. God.
And she moves along, and they both kind of file into one of those like 10 foot by 10 foot sort of side rooms. Probably just sleeping, secluded, like kind of like it would feel like a big coffin, I guess. But yeah, that's all that's happening on my end.
Feeling comfortable with Spectral Gabriel here, I'm going to kind of just start resting. I take a short rest at the very least, unless someone is saying anything, but I am fucking tapped.
I'm taking a short rest,
Yep.
and I will get up.
I'm doing the same.
Okay. It's been a busy past 5 hours. You guys have fought these feral faithful. You've jogged to and from around the this kind of small section of Nov Ostoya a couple times now. Rylon has just moved these pews.
We found a wealth or a well of infinite wealth, possibly.
Yeah, you found the glass man. Who knows what his name is? He doesn't have one. And now you guys have sort of moved home base, and it's only about halfway through the second day of Darkreign.
Or the second day now?
I think so. You guys were awake, fought, went to the cathedral, left, fled from the house back to the hideout, slept for 8 hours. I'd say it's like probably noon on the second day now.
Feels like an eternity at this point.
Yeah.
And we're only on day 2. Fuck.
But now you have a new home. And as you guys kind of like go off into your short rest and you begin to recuperate a little bit, whatever little bit you can, because it's probably been a little bit too soon to do a long rest. I think that's where we're going to end this session. I don't know if you can tell, but my throat's getting it's really dry feeling on my end and kind of scratchy.
Short rest, though?
For me personally, yes. And yeah, you guys get your short rest.
Yeah.
So you can go and take care of that now before we break, just so we don't forget. And yeah, that's where we're gonna end this session.
Back to full strength. I'm ready to kill Yakko.
Oh my gosh.
I have no spells. Let's kill
I'm a
him.
monk. I get all my spells back. Let's get him.
That being said, thank you for listening, listeners. And if you liked what you heard, I actually loved the glass man part a lot. I mean, the whole session was good for me, but the glass man part was just some much kind of needed comical relief for me. We have a very serious campaign. It can be very grim, but there are definitely times for everything. And so, yeah, thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, it would go a long way if you would give us a review or a like or a thumbs up on whatever platform you're on. It would really help us out. We'd greatly appreciate it. We'd also like to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. We have both Xeno and Stags as our party fiends this month. We have Cypher, Rook, and Happy Phoenix as our party monsters this month. We have Hop as our party person this month. And Valentine, Blundig, and Window Man as our party lurkers for this month. And we appreciate each and every one of them. We appreciate all of you listeners. But it's with the support of our Patreon supporters that we are able to fund our giveaways, and that we're able to pay for additional art that we didn't really fit into our budget, and advertise with paid advertisement, and really help get our name out there. So we cannot stress enough how much we appreciate it, and we're glad for them and all of you listeners.
Shouts out.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, like always, never split the party. We'll catch you next time. Thanks.
Adios.